What's up, YouTube? Giant Jump of 3 here. No face cam because I don't know where to put it on this screen, but it's fine. Um, I'm going to be going over the build I typically go and why I don't like some other builds. So, usually on round 1, no matter the matchup, I will try to go let's go win. And because it is just such a amazing power. So, commanding shout right now, if I were to use it, I'll have to wait for those 5 seconds to pass by. Puts me on a 12-second cooldown. And to eliminate a 12-second cooldown that allows me to be aggressive anyway is so good. If I get one elimination, right, I can get my shout back, which allows me to be aggressive, which allows me to get another pick because we're already like in the lead, right? It's a 5-4. And then I get a pick off that. And then I get my shout again. I just keep steamrolling them, right? And usually, like, round 1, I'll go, like, Frenzy Amplifier, which says when you get an elimination, steamroll them even more. And you can go some, like, Compensator or Plasma Converter or Weapon Grease. It really doesn't matter. But it's usually, like, a more gun build round 1. Round 2, I like to go Monarch's Decree, which allows me to shout and get a 15% attack speed boost. Which is really nice. You can pair it with some other things. But what I also like to try to go is Advanced Nanobiotics. So it says after healing an ally, gain 10% attack speed for 3 seconds. Fun fact, you are considered an ally. And fun fact, if you have lifesteal on your weapon or even the ability power, you technically heal yourself with your stuff. So you just get attack speed for basically free, like all the time. Just shoot once, and now you have this attack speed. So that's what I like to kind of go round 2-ish. Round 3 really depends, but typically I like to go Reckoner's Roar. And it's because the synergy between, if you shout, right, you get Reckoner's Roar on multiple people. If any one of those people die in the next, like, 3 seconds or so, actually, maybe it's even more than that, because, you technically did the damage, right, and there's a little bit in between. If any one of those people die, you get your shout back, which allows you to shout again and get the Reckoner's Roar, which allows you to just steamroll them even more. So this is typically what I like to go. I will sometimes go Royal Bullets, I will sometimes go Thrill of Battle, and I will sometimes go Chop Chop. But I will continue this route, and I'll explain like how to go into the other routes later. But whenever I get these two, I like to, at this point, invest in ability power in order to work with this guy. And the first one I like to go for every time is Mark of Kitsune, which says when you use an ability, your next instance of weapon damage deals 25 ability bonus damage. So this is a nice way to have your scattergun, your primary fire, still be valuable even when you're going an ability build. So this will help out both your Carnage, your Gracie, and your Rampage, as well as your gun. It is just so good on Queen. Another one I like to go is Booming Voice. It gives you a lot of ability power, and it also increases the radius of your shout so that you can get more of this. You know, you can also get your allies some overhealth and some speed, so that's nice. Now, I usually can't afford both of these, or if I can afford both of these, I don't want to just get both of them because I do want to use up all my slots in order to get more things, but these are two great choices. I personally would like to go Mark of Kitsune, but I do understand in going for Booming Voice. At this point, Energized Bracers is also nice. And you can even go back to here for Advanced Nanobiotics in order to combine the Lifesteal here and the Healing an Ally here and maybe even Plasma Converter here. It's pretty cheap for like the same price of like getting like both of these two. And now you get a constant attack speed on top of your stuff, right? And like you're kind of invested in ability power at this point. But if you don't want to go this, you can go just ability power. If you don't want to go this, you can go for like maybe like Nano Cola or even like wrist wrap or something like that. Do not be afraid to go for bigger magnet It is one of the only 10% ability powers in this area. So if you already bought this, and you already bought this, and you have 4K left, like, I actually don't think there's anything else. Yeah. You can technically get this, and you'll also get the weapon power, but don't underestimate pulling someone really close to your team, and your team just destroys them. But also, if you want to go for the surprise, no one expects Junker Whatchamajig. This is such a, like, no one sees it coming, because everyone just thinks you're going to invest in ability power and a weapon power round, like, 2 or 3. So this is just like a surprise thing. Now, I will say that after the first ult, it kind of becomes useless, but, like, I still think that the surprise factor might be worth it in order for you to get the lead. So just keep that in mind. By the time it is round 5, this is where I decide how am I going to build my set. Because if I go chop chop, I'm completely invested in ability power. If I go royal bullets, though, I don't invest in ability power only because this is now just to enable my let's go win and maybe self-sustain every once in a while. But if I'll go ahead and do the chop chop build because it's very straightforward. Basically, Mark of Kitsune so that your ability power does help your gun as well. Booming voice. You want to go stuff like Champion's Kit. You want to go stuff like Cyber Venom. You want to go Liquid Nitrogen. If you do happen to go the bow down route, you can also go Catalytic Crystal in order to get a bunch of ability power, plus you get more ult charge. Do not underestimate Thick Skull. If you go chop chop and you hit 2 people every time, you will forever have Thick Skull activated, which I think is ridiculously crazy. You'll get a 50% damage reduction. Plus, if you have enough ability power, you'll be healing yourself for a lot. I personally don't like Sav Scraps. I think that even at a high ability power, you don't really get that much overhealth. But maybe you can do it in case they have an Ana and you can't heal yourself, so that at least you're getting some kind of, like, way around it, right? I think that's all I really want to say about that one. You can still go like Nano Cola and stuff. Like, I think like the highest you can get to for ability power that, like, it's like 15, 40, 20, 20, 15, 15. Yeah, I think that's the highest you can get to with just like raw numbers. I think there's like stuff that's like whenever you do something, you get a higher ability. Yeah, like this one, for example, whenever you deal weapon damage. But at that point, you kind of lose it because your gunshots aren't fast. You didn't invest in attack speed at all. And so I don't really like Super Flexor. This is just more consistent. And, like, 125 is a huge number. Now, are you going to go for all of these? Maybe. But, like, can you afford all of these? Maybe not. So it's just really up to you at that point. If you don't go Bow Down, you can go Soaring Stone in order to get those leaps. And you can also go Bloodcrazed. So I don't like Bloodcrazed here because my... Actually, let's go ahead and do this again, just to kind of show it off. I have not really invested in HP. So it says of max health. And so it's not really worth it, to be honest. But you can. You can also typically go through the battle, but the issue is there's currently a glitch where for Adrenaline Rush, normally whenever you kill something, you instantly get the health of the remaining wound, but for Thrill of Battle, it does not apply to your allies. So if you're one-shotting things, know that your teammates will not get the health for it. So this is more of a, if the enemy team has a lot of like armor, self-sustain, you know, keeping themselves like damage reduction stuff, this will heal your team, but also like you'll do a lot of damage. So I don't recommend this for this build specifically, but you can if you really feel like you need it. Let's go back to Let's Go Win and Reckoner's Roar. You can also go the Royal Bullets route. If you do, you are aiming for headshots, so I do recommend going for the closer because you are getting headshots. And what's nice about this is you can tell you're getting headshots when you can see them through walls. So it's randomly nice to get that. Um, you can also go like Bloodhound Mask. It says for each enemy with a wound around them, and you're getting wounded people with Reckoner's Roar anyway, you get extra 5% weapon power. So this one's kind of nice. It is kind of pricey though. This one allows you to have lifesteal. So kind of like early-ish game, like round 5, you can technically go this guy plus this guy in order to get the lifesteal on your weapon and also get that attack speed buff. So it's pretty nice to combo those. I don't necessarily like stuff like booster jets, but if you already have like a Juno or like a Lucio or whatever, right, you just get a bunch of movement speed all the time. Plus, you do have the commanding shout, so you'll just be kind of zooming through everyone, and it is a really fun build. I don't know how optimal it is, but it's very fun. Again, this one is kind of like meh, because at this point you're more invested in your gun. You can just toss Gracie whenever in order to get like this to proc, but it's only like a 5%, and then like the cooldown reduction doesn't really affect your gun, so it's kind of meh, but you can still kind of go that route. This one is a nice cheap one versus like something like Reinhardt. I don't know how I feel about this one. It is slightly like cheaper, but like Reinhardt's will like put down their shield, put up their shield, and so if your team invests in this, then it's great. But if it's just you, I don't know. I really don't. Monarch's Decree, again, for this build is really fucking good, and it's really cheap, works out. And then like, you know, you can always go Frenzy Amplifier. Like this is just like the cheapest. Like I don't know what to do with the rest of my money. Maybe just this kind of guy, right? Maybe have like a little bit left. As far as the 4th power for this kind of route, I kind of recommend Thrill of Battle, because you're not gonna one-shot anything, but like you'll get a bunch of like wound kind of damage from like shooting them in the head. I do also still like Bow Down for this kind of thing. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like Twist the Knife. Twist the Knife says it extends your current wounds by like half a second. Which, like, the only wound you're really going to be applying constantly is from Royal Bullets. And extending the timer versus getting immediate more damage, it kind of sucks. So you can go Twist the Knife, but I really do recommend, if it's round 7, just go Bow Down. Because they won't be expecting it. But also, too, this is just like a round 7 game changer. Because, like, you knock them all down. Your team is already buffed the fuck up. They just need a little window of opening in order to get in. And so Bow Down really helps with that. But, you still can go Thrill of Battle if you need to. I don't like going, like, Chop Chop or Soaring Stone at this point. Or even Bloodcrazed. Because this is more for, like, investing in ability power. Now, the last route I like to go for these two again is a very funny Merciless Magnetism route. And it's not good. Don't get me wrong. It's not good. But I can go Merciless Magnetism, and I like to go a bigger magnet to pull people in. What you essentially do is you will shout, run in, knife someone. It's most likely gonna hit them. It's really hard. Let me show you this, right? If I shout, I just hit them. I'm not even like looking at them. And you can just shoot them. If you have a Mei, they can Mei wall there. You just kind of like block someone off. And it becomes a very good team build. And if you want to like add insult to injury, you can go Chop Chop. As soon as you pull them in, you hit them twice, and you go healing reduction and movement speed reduction. And so they're just kind of trapped inside like your little area, right? And then you get the kill, you get the next you get your shout again, you repeat the pattern. It's really funny. Now, if you do go that route, I do recommend you go Bow Down, or even Chop Chop. Those two are very good. But I will say there have been times I got Let's Go Win, and then I said I can't go Reckoner's Roar because they are all playing so spread out that like I'm not getting any value. At this point, I can either go Chop Chop directly to like focus on a singular person, Royal Bullets to focus on a singular person, or if my team is grouped up, I will go Thrill of Battle. And I already kind of showed off the Chop Chop and Royal Bullets route, so I'm going to show off the Thrill of Battle route. For this one, you still want to go Booming Voice, and maybe like invest in like ability powers and stuff, but what a nice way to go around it is Undying Loyalty, which says as long as you base it off your team's survival, you will get a lot of fucking healing. So let's say they have a Zarya, right? And the Zarya just keeps bubbling whoever you're looking at. You can go this kind of route. Like, this is also a nice one if they have like a Zarya and a Kiri. Because like whenever your wound gets removed, you get over health. So it allows you to live longer. Plus, it just gives you 25 health. Go something like Thick Skull. Your next one will probably be Chop Chop. And then you're like, oh, but you're not invested in ability power. That's not the point. The point is the damage reduction plus you keep shouting to heal your teammates is so fucking good. At this point, if you really want to invest in ability power or something like that, you can even go this to get your ult, and then your team gets a lot of healing from that. I don't really know how I feel about like the rest of the stuff for this build in particular, but getting a lot of health, 5% of my current health, I'm currently at 500, is 25 health per second for my entire team. I actually end up getting my ult really fast, so I like to go Catalytic Crystal in order to get more ult charge for that healing that I'm doing for the team. And this surprisingly works. Now, you can go Chop Chop before you go Thrill of Battle, but know that Thrill of Battle is a route you can go. And remember, there is that glitch of whenever you kill someone, your Adrenaline Rush doesn't actually instant heal the rest of your teammates. But what it does do is, because you're not investing in ability power, is that you keep getting this Adrenaline Rush healing. And now if you have a thing that says after healing an ally, like for example, where is it? There's one that's like when you heal an ally. Well, there's like ones that are like when you use an ability. Yeah. No, not that one. It's like whenever you heal an ally under 50% health. I'm looking for it. Sorry about that. Oh, also, I recommend against the Zarya to take this guy. It does help with damage reduction and stuff. There's one that's like whenever you heal your teammates under like 30% health. Maybe it's under weapon power. Oh, maybe it's this. But yeah, anyway, point is, there's a lot of different routes you can go for that. So, just to summarize how I go over it. Let's go win, and then evaluate the situation. If you really don't know, just go for Reckoner's Roar. If you have an idea of what the issue is, like let's say you have a Lucio Mercy for support and you're not getting enough healing, I do recommend the Thrill of Battle route. If you have enough healing and you want to focus fire a singular person, maybe Royal Bullets. If you, or even, no, actually not that. If you want to, like attack a Reinhardt because he keeps being in the front lines, Chop Chop because this goes through barriers. If they're really like, you know, if the tank isn't peeling a lot, maybe go for Merciless Magnetism so you can get a bunch of individual picks. But Let's Go Win route is my favorite route. Now, I do know that people like to go the Chop Chop Soaring Stone immediate route. I personally do not like this because it makes you commit to the ability power route. If they are playing Zarya or Orisa and all they do is stun you or like block off your thing with bubbles, then you get 0 value the entire game. I don't like these two. Soaring Stone kind of allows you to jump past them, But if Orisa kind of like reads that and like does javelin spin or even javelin throws you after you've already jumped or whatever, then it's kind of over, right? If Soaring Stone said like reduce the wind up time, it would be so much fucking better. But it doesn't. So I personally don't ever really go for Soaring Stone. I might if it's like a Let's Go Win, Reckoner's Roar, Chop Chop, and then Soaring Stone. But even then, I usually go Bow Down. Because if it's round 7, I want to ensure the kill. They're not expecting this. So that's usually the route I go. And like if I shout, it's usually enough speed to get to them anyway. I'm just going to talk about some of the powers I don't like. I've already talked about Twist the Knife. I don't like this because you're extending the wounds of like Scattergun. You can technically go like Let's Go Win, Reckoner's Roar, go that Mark of Kitsune, and then Twist the Knife. But then like I just feel like it'd be better to go for Chop Chop. So that way you can just get the second wound anyway. And instead of a 0.5 second extension, it's a whole nother 3 seconds of wound. So I just don't like Twist the Knife. Blade Parade, I don't know if this is bugged or whether it's intentional, but if you use Blade Parade, right? Like let's go ahead and just I'm gonna compare this, right? This is me just tossing it. It does like all the way up to like the letter A, right? And if I hold it, you don't really see that much difference, do you, right? It gets worse when there's ability power involved. I can invest so much in ability power, but I don't feel like it's actually building anything. So like, let me just go to like max for a second. All right, there we go. That's like 125, right? So that went to about like the H-ish, right? Look out, Ares. There's a new god. I'm now gonna click on Blade Parade. See how it's still around the H-ish? Fun fact, it is increased damage, but it's based off of the initial impact damage. So 65 times, like, you know, with a 35% boost is like 12 damage or something like that. It is ridiculously low. I don't know why anyone would ever pick Blade Parade. Now, if it's scaled with ability power, yes, go for this. I don't even think is it based off of like weapon power? Like, there's no shot, right? I'm gonna try it out. I don't know, like, I'm just gonna test it real quick. We're testing this live. No, that is just way less damage. Never pick Blade Parade. Unless they, like, kind of patch it, which then I would love to go Blade Parade, Merciless Magnetism. That sounds like such a fun combo. And then, like, Let's Go Win, whatever, right? Combo, like, I would probably go, like, Let's Go Win, Merciless Magnetism, Blade Parade, and then, like, Reckoner's Roar, or, like, something like of that kind of sort. But it just doesn't work. Don't ever go for it. Em Gracie is horrible. Absolutely bad. So the whole point of Gracie, so I'm just doing this so I can get him out of the way. The whole point of Gracie is to knife someone, hold them in, and shoot them, right? If you miss your jagged blade, right, and you miss, it's on a 4-second cooldown. Right? Okay, it's technically a 6-second cooldown, because, like, but, like, whenever you throw it and come and, you know, toss it back, it will be a 4-second cooldown, because that's when you'll, like, realize it, right? And if you do this, you essentially get it back, but, like, it's not. Oh shit, hold up, my bad. No, I did equip it. That's so fucking bad. I don't know. It's already, like, on a shortish cooldown. I don't care for Em Gracie. I think the only reason I would ever pick Em Gracie is if they change it to be, if you get a direct hit, reduce the cooldown, or if you get an indirect hit, remove the cooldown. or like reset the cooldown. I don't see a point for Em Gracie. Um, Merciless Magnetism is situational, but it's really funny, so I like that for that reason. Bloodcrazed might be good if you go for like a like survival kind of build. Like if you were to go for the Let's Go Win, Thrill of Battle, maybe like Reckoner's Roar, Bloodcrazed, in order for you to self-sustain yourself, and then you go some like Booming Voice, Thick Skull maybe, save Scav Scraps, whatever, and all you try to do is buff up your health in order for you to have a higher maximum health so that you never fucking die. Yeah, go for it. I can see that. If you're going for like the Chop Soaring Stone with no Let's Go Win or Reckoner's Roar, which I think is crazy, but I've seen people do it. I've then seen them go Bloodcrazed, Bow Down, like just this entire bottom row. And you do you, buddy. I don't like that personally, but you do you. And then, like lastly, like I've seen people like, okay, I've never seen anyone go Bow Down round 1. I've seen them go Bow Down like round 5 and 7, but never round 1. Someone might go Soaring Stone first. I actually don't even like this because, like if you commit as queen, right, now you're stuck in the enemy team. If you don't kill them, you just die yourself. I would rather go Chop round 1, or even like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't see Soaring Stone round 1. Maybe round 3, or like, yeah, I don't know. But, are there any? Yeah, I think I went over all of the items I care to talk about. Maybe I'll talk about like, Phantasmal Flux. I don't really like this one because I don't like investing in both weapon power and ability power, and it like you could get more out of it. But this is an option if you're going for like a mixed build. Like let's say you're going for like this with like Mark of Kitsune, then I can kind of see Phantasmic Flux working out. I don't like Vandium Injection. Your ult is just so good that, and then this is again one of those like invests in both kind of situations. You could kind of like make a build that's like both your gun and ability power, but I find that if you just go ability power with Mark of Kitsune, it works out just fine. Like I don't really invest in weapon power. There's just cheaper and better options, I feel like. I mean, this is like pretty cheap, but like I would still just rather go like Nano Cola for like half the price, you know? But yeah, Gloom Gauntlet doesn't work for Carnage, and I hate that. I think Rampage is also technically melee, doesn't work for that. There's a incredibly funny, not Beggar Magnet, sorry, Gut Punch Gauntlet, which I think is supposed to be with Em Gracie. So basically, whenever you like poke someone, it doesn't do like any knockback, right? But if you throw Gracie and then punch him, you do like a shit ton of knockback. Unfortunately, I have looked into making a build around this, and I just can't. You can invest in weapon power all you want. You're not gonna do that much damage. So, and like if you could increase the melee speed, this would be worth it. But you can't. So it's just an interesting item. I've already talked about Monarch's Decree. I love this one. If you're ever going a scattergun build, this is one of the ones I always recommend going for, especially if you have Let's Go Win. This one's also good as long as you go Reckoner's Roar to get a wound on multiple people. This one is just nice in general, whether you have Reckoner's Roar or not. So, like, let's say round 1 you go Let's Go Win, and third round you go Royal Bullets. Instead of Bloodhound Mask, I would go Shred and Lead. Is it lead or lead? I think it's Shred and Lead. It rhymes. Like, okay. Excuse my English. Anyway. Beggar Magnet is more of a surprise factor. Usually people don't know how to deal with it. Plus, if you go for Merciless Magnetism, you can pull someone way further into your team than they're expecting, and then they're just surrounded by your entire team. So it's kind of underrated. It's also pretty cheap. If you already have Energized Bracers, this is a nice one to go for. I have never gone for this one for multiple reasons. It doesn't invest in ability power. And then also, like, it's for attack speed. So, like, I can't see, like, Let's Go Win, Reckoner's Roar, Chop with Mark of Kitsune. But because you're not investing in ability power, plus, like, once you use an ability and you use your gun, you kind of want to use another ability before you use your gun again. So I kind of don't like this guy. Booming Voice is so fucking good with anything with Let's Go Win or, and Reckoner's Roar. It's just so good. I always recommend it. Somewhat cheap compared to, like, Champion's Kit. But and it gives you just so much value out of, like, the extra effect that nothing else can provide. Dez's damage dampeners. This one is iffy. So I have tried this one versus Orisa versus Lucio, and, like, I don't know. It doesn't. Okay, on its own, if you don't get knocked back, it does, like, almost nothing. 25 health is actually nothing. The 25 movement speed is a lot of movement speed. Do not get me wrong. But usually if the Lucio is going for a boop build, he'll just boop you again. And then by that point, everyone knows you're trying to rush in. They'll kind of focus you. It doesn't work out. And the Orisa usually goes for a javelin throw build, in which whenever they javelin spin, they'll get a javelin throw. And it's just incredibly annoying. At that point, I might just invest in, like, this guy, which says whenever you get stunned, restore your health, which is super fucking nice. And it negates a lot of the, like, duration of stuff. So I prefer Cushion Pad over the dampener. But that's just me. This one's nice versus Kiriko, but also, like, if they have, like, a Mei, a Reaper, a Zarya, in order to cleanse your wounds, it does add up over time, and you do get a lot of overhealth. As long as you invest in your own health in order to increase the max life overhealth that you'll get. Slicing Spree sounds nice. It helps you get movement speed and attack speed. I personally haven't used it, but I do see someone making a speedy build where it's like this guy, Let's Go Win, maybe, like, Reckoner's Roar just to, like, get the wound off, and maybe, like, Royal Bullets. So I might start investing in this and see if it's even worth it, but, like, I haven't personally used it myself. Usually if I'm using, like, a scattergun build and I shout and they're within the shout, I'm at the distance I want to be for my gun. I don't need to move in closer. So I haven't really tried that. Maybe I should. This one, again, is weird because it doesn't give you ability power, and so you want to kind of invest in ability power to make sure that this is good. But also, this will help you against an Ana, so it is matchup like dependent. Thick Skull, if you're going for Chop, I just always recommend Thick Skull. If you just go pure ability power and do the damage, that's also fine. But if you find that you're, like, a glass cannon and you're dying too fast, Thick Skull with Chop. This one, again, has its own build so that you last forever, and I kind of like it for that. So hopefully this is a good... this is a 30-minute video. Oh, geez. Okay, yeah, so hopefully this helps people out. If you have a build that you like that I did not go over, let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I don't, it's whatever. All right, later, everyone. Have fun in Stadium.